Richard Vaughn smirked. "Objection, Your Honor." The judge lifted a brow. "On what grounds?" Vaughn stood. "Dramatics. Miss Brooks is an unreliable witness. She was a fugitive, a former CIA agent gone rogue. She has every reason to fabricate this story to save herself." Maya clenched her fists. Carter, the FBI agent who once hunted her but now stood by her side, leaned forward. "Stay calm," he murmured. "Stick to the plan." Maya exhaled slowly. Then, she smiled. "Let's talk about fabrication, then," she said.
Welcome to this channel, where you can get interesting stories. Before you continue, do subscribe to this channel. Like this video and turn on notification for you to be notified when new exciting stories are dropped. Now let's get the full story.
The Caldwell Enterprises headquarters towered over Manhattan, a glass and steel fortress reflecting the golden hues of the setting sun. Inside, the atmosphere was crisp and sterile, the air thick with a scent of polished mahogany and wealth. At the 30th floor executive office, a young woman sat in the waiting area, her hands lightly folded on her lap. She wore a simple beige blouse and dark slacks, professional yet understated. Her curly hair was neatly pulled back, revealing a face that was calm, composed, and unreadable. Her name was Maya Brooks, and she had spent weeks preparing for this moment. A young receptionist, Amy, tapped furiously at her keyboard before glancing at Maya. "Mr. Caldwell will see you now." Maya stood smoothly, her heartbeat steady despite the firestorm of adrenaline beneath her skin. She had trained herself for this with months of undercover work. She walked toward the large oak doors, pushed them open, and stepped inside. Jonathan Caldwell barely looked up as Maya entered. He sat behind a massive glass desk, his fingers tapping against a sleek tablet. The glow from the New York skyline cast long shadows over his chiseled face, accentuating the air of arrogance that clung to him. A man who had never been told no. A man who had destroyed lives with a stroke of his pen. His wife, Victoria Caldwell, perched elegantly on a couch near the bookshelves, dressed in a navy blue designer suit. Her platinum blonde hair was twisted into a perfect chignon, and her diamond-studded fingers rested lightly around a porcelain teacup. Maya knew everything about them. Jonathan Caldwell, self-made billionaire, ruthless investor, suspected of financial fraud, tax evasion, and labor exploitation. Untouchable. Victoria Caldwell, former socialite, cold as steel, with a reputation for tormenting household staff. Maya took a careful step forward, standing before the Titan and his queen. Jonathan, without glancing up, swiped across his tablet and muttered, "Maya Brooks, right?" "Yes, sir." Her voice was calm. Controlled. Finally, he looked up. His eyes were sharp, piercing, scanning her like a predator sizing up prey. "You applied for the nanny position." Maya nodded. "Yes, sir." Victoria exhaled softly, setting down her teacup. "We've had difficulty keeping nannies," she murmured, her voice smooth but laced with subtle disdain. "Our expectations are high." Maya nodded again, waiting. She knew that rich people love to talk, to establish their power before asking any real questions. Jonathan leaned back, tapping his fingers against the desk. "Ever worked as a nanny before?" Maya tilted her head slightly, as if considering. "A little," she said. A perfect half-truth. He raised an eyebrow. "Where?" "A private home in Boston. 3 kids." Another lie, but one she had carefully crafted. No real records. No trails. Jonathan smirked slightly. "Boston, ha! What brings you to New York?" Maya didn't miss the curiosity in his voice. He didn't actually care, but rich men like Jonathan liked to pretend they had instincts that they could read people like an open book. "Needed a change," Maya said simply. His smirk deepened, as if entertained by her vagueness. Victoria sighed, shifting in her seat. Look, dear. This job isn't for everyone. You'll be dealing with our daughter, Chloe, and she's, a pause, a delicate sip of tea, particular. Maya kept her expression neutral. Particular. A word the wealthy used to describe spoiled, vicious, uncontrollable brats. Jonathan turned his chair slightly, eyeing her again. You look young. How old are you? Maya met his gaze. 26. He nodded slowly, considering. Then, out of nowhere, he asked, Where did you go to school? Maya's breath caught for half a second, too quick for the untrained eye to catch, but Jonathan Caldwell was not an untrained eye. Community college, she lied smoothly. Took a few classes. Never finished. Jonathan hummed, watching her. He didn't believe her. But that was the key. He didn't need to believe her, he just needed to underestimate her. And he did. His smirk returned, and he leaned forward, resting his elbows on the desk. It doesn't take a genius to be a nanny. Victoria chuckled lightly. Maya smiled politely, though her fingers twitched with the urge to claw into the desk. He had no idea who he was talking to. Jonathan sat back, bored already. All right, let's make this quick. He nodded toward the corner of the room, where a tray of crystal glasses and a bottle of expensive whiskey rested. Pour me a drink. Maya didn't move for a fraction of a second. It was a test. Not of her nannying skills, but of obedience. Jonathan wasn't hiring a nanny. He was hiring a servant. Slowly, Maya walked to the tray, picked up the bottle, and poured the whiskey, precisely, without spilling a drop. She turned, stepping forward, glass in hand. She stopped just short of his reach. Jonathan raised an eyebrow, waiting for her to bring it to him. Maya held her ground. You asked me to pour, sir. Not to serve. Silence. For the first time, Jonathan really looked at her. Victoria let out a soft chuckle, swirling her tea. Oh, I like this one, she murmured. Jonathan's smirk twitched at the corner. Feisty. He reached forward and took the glass himself. Maya won. Jonathan took a slow sip, still eyeing her. Then, without looking away, he said, When can you start? Maya didn't blink. Tomorrow. Jonathan leaned back, satisfied. Welcome to the Caldwell household. Victoria set down her cup with a small sigh. Let's hope you last longer than the others. Maya smiled. Oh, I'll last. But Jonathan Caldwell won't, Maya said in her mind. The Caldwell estate was less of a home and more of a small kingdom, sprawling across 5 acres of prime real estate just outside Manhattan. It had marble floors that echoed with every step, chandeliers that cost more than most people's homes, and a staff that operated like a well-oiled machine, except for the nannies. The nannies never lasted. Maya Brooks intended to be the last one. She stood in the grand foyer, her black flat sinking slightly into the Persian rug as she glanced around. A butler, Mr. Felix, walked past carrying a tray of champagne flutes. A housekeeper dusted a sculpture that looked like it had been stolen from a European museum. Then came the voice. Oh my God! Maya turned just in time to see Chloe Caldwell, the 17-year-old princess of the house, standing at the top of the grand staircase. She wore a designer tracksuit, holding a tiny purse that couldn't fit anything practical. Her expression was pure horror. Seriously? Chloe scoffed, arms crossing. You're the new nanny. Maya blinked. I am. Chloe stared, her lips twisting. Yeah, no. You're not gonna last. Maya smiled politely. We'll see. Maya learned quickly that being a nanny to Chloe Caldwell meant playing a high-stakes game of survival. Her first morning, she woke up at 6 a.m. sharp, only to be greeted by a screeching alarm coming from Chloe's bedroom. She knocked. "Chloe! Time to get up." No answer. She knocked again. Still nothing. Maya sighed and opened the door, stepping inside what looked like a high-end department store threw up on a hotel suite. Designer bags, shoes, and clothes were strewn across every surface. The air smelled of expensive perfume and rebellion. Chloe was buried under silk sheets, her head hidden beneath a pillow. Maya approached the bed. "Chloe, you have school." A pillow flew across the room, narrowly missing her head. Maya inhaled slowly. "Okay. We're doing this." She grabbed the edge of Chloe's blanket and yanked it off. "What the hell?" Chloe shot up, eyes wide with fury. Maya folded her arms. "I get paid either way, but if you don't get up, I'm sending a wake-up text to your dad." Chloe blinked. "You wouldn't." Maya pulled out her phone and started typing. Chloe launched out of bed. "You're pure evil." Maya smiled. "You're dressed in 5 minutes, or I play a Beyoncé song on full volume." Chloe groaned but grabbed her phone and shuffled to the bathroom. Victory! The Caldwell breakfast table was something out of a royal banquet, an excessive spread of fruits, eggs, pastries, and things Maya couldn't even pronounce. Jonathan Caldwell sat at the head of the table, reading something on his tablet. Victoria sat beside him, sipping coffee like it was an art form. Chloe plopped into her seat, dramatically resting her forehead against the table. Jonathan glanced up. "Is she sick?" "She's fine," Maya said, sitting down across from Chloe. "She's just mad I made her wake up before noon." Victoria chuckled softly. "Oh, I do like you." Jonathan, however, raised an eyebrow at Maya's presence. "You're eating with us?" Maya met his gaze, reaching for a croissant. "Well, I figured I should try the food before Chloe starts throwing it at me." Jonathan's lips twitched, but he said nothing. Chloe groaned dramatically. "Ugh, can you guys fire her already?" Victoria smirked over her coffee. "Let's see if she makes it to Friday first." Maya wasn't going anywhere. Maya had been at the mansion for 2 weeks when she started to notice things going missing: a bottle of champagne from the wine cellar, a speaker from the entertainment room, and the sudden mysterious increase in giggling from Chloe's bedroom. One Friday night, she was preparing to finally relax when she got a text from an unknown number. "You should check the pool house. Now." Maya frowned, grabbed her jacket, and walked outside. The moment she opened the pool house door, she was hit with a smell of expensive vodka, cheap cologne, and teenage rebellion. The place was packed with teenagers, red cups in hand, music blasting. Chloe was at the center, laughing, holding a bottle of something that definitely wasn't juice. Maya scanned the room, zeroing in on a guy trying to pass Chloe a pill. She moved fast. "Hey!" Maya's voice cut through the chaos like a whip. Heads turned. The music stopped. Chloe's eyes widened. "Oh, crap." Maya marched through the crowd, snatched the pill from the guy's hand, and glared at him. "Get out. Now." The guy hesitated. "Who the hell are you?" Maya stepped closer, voice deadly calm. "The one who'll make sure your parents get a call from the police if you don't leave in 10 seconds. The guy bolted. Chloe groaned. "Ugh, you're ruining my life." Maya crossed her arms. "You're 17, not in a Netflix drama. Get your friends out of here before I tell your dad." The threat was enough. Within minutes, the party was cleared out. Chloe stood by the pool, arms crossed. I should hate you. Maya sighed, rubbing her temples. You don't have to like me. Just don't be stupid. Chloe watched her for a long moment. Then, to Maya's utter shock, she muttered, "Thanks, or whatever." Maya raised an eyebrow. "You're welcome, or whatever." That night, Jonathan called her into his study. "You broke up a party," he said, tapping his fingers on the desk. "I did." Chloe could have been in danger. She was. Jonathan leaned back, studying her. "You're not like the others." Maya smiled faintly. "No, sir. I'm not." A long silence. Then, finally, Jonathan smirked. "Let's see if you can keep up." Maya already knew the answer. She wasn't just keeping up, she was winning. The Caldwell mansion was silent at night, too silent. Maya Brooks had been working in the house for a month now, playing the role of the dutiful nanny while secretly gathering evidence on Jonathan Caldwell's criminal empire. She was patient, careful. She knew that one wrong move could end with her being silenced permanently. That night, at 2:37 a.m., her phone buzzed on the nightstand. A single message flashed on the screen. "Unknown number. Check his study. Now." Maya's pulse quickened. She slid out of bed, her bare feet silent against the cold marble floor. She grabbed her phone, a small flashlight, and a lock-picking kit she always kept hidden inside her sock drawer. She had 10 minutes before the guards made their next security round. Maya moved like a shadow through the dark corridors, dodging the security cameras she had memorized. The study was locked, but not for long. She pulled out her lockpicks, working fast. Her fingers were steady, her mind focused. Click. The door swung open. She slipped inside, shutting it quietly behind her. The room smelled of rich leather, old books, and deception. Maya flicked on her penlight, scanning the room. Her target was Jonathan's computer, but she knew he wasn't stupid enough to leave anything obvious. Her eyes landed on the mahogany bookshelf behind his desk. Too neat. She stepped closer, running her fingers along the spines of expensive law books. Then, felt it. A hidden switch. She pressed it. A section of the bookshelf clicked and slid open, revealing a small safe and a second monitor, completely separate from the computer on his desk. Maya's breath hitched. Jackpot! She reached into her pocket, pulled out a portable hacking device, and plugged it into the monitor. A progress bar appeared. Hacking in progress. 5 minutes remaining. 5 minutes. She clenched her jaw. That was too long. Then, a sound. Footsteps. Someone was coming. Maya ripped the device from the port, shoving it into her hoodie pocket. She slid behind the desk just as the doorknob turned. The study door creaked open, and heavy footsteps entered the room. Through a crack in the desk, she saw black leather shoes. Jonathan Caldwell. Maya held her breath. Jonathan walked to his desk, muttering something under his breath. She heard him pour a glass of whiskey, then the sound of paper shuffling. Then, his phone rang. Yeah. Jonathan answered, his voice sharp. What? No, that's impossible. That file is locked. No one can access it. Maya's heart pounded. He was talking about her hack. Jonathan slammed his glass down. Find out who the hell is snooping around. Maya bit the inside of her cheek. After a tense moment, Jonathan grabbed his laptop and stormed out of the room. The door clicked shut. Maya exhaled shakily. That was too close. She didn't have the full file, but she had enough. It was time to dig deeper. The next morning, Maya was in the kitchen making coffee when Chloe waltzed in, scrolling through her phone. She barely looked up. Why were you sneaking around last night? Maya froze, her hand tightening around the coffee mug. Chloe smirked, hopping onto the counter. Relax, I'm not telling Daddy dearest. Maya played it cool. I don't know what you're talking about. Chloe rolled her eyes. Please. I heard the door. I saw the security cameras glitch for like 10 seconds. Maya raised an eyebrow. Smart girl. Chloe leaned in, voice low. What are you looking for? Maya studied her for a second. Then, testing her, she said, Something tells me you already know. Chloe's smirk faded slightly. Bingo! Maya pressed. You know what your dad does, don't you? Chloe hesitated. Then, softly, I know he's not just some businessman. Maya glanced around, making sure no one was listening. I need your help. Chloe stared at her. You're insane. Maya shrugged. Probably. But I think you want to help. A long pause. Then, Chloe sighed dramatically. Fine. But if we get caught, I'm throwing you under the bus. Maya grinned. Fair deal. Chloe came through faster than Maya expected. That evening, she slipped Maya a keycard. Dad has a warehouse downtown. He keeps stuff there. I overheard a call about a shipment coming in tonight. Maya took the card. You did good. Chloe scoffed. Yeah. Just don't die, okay? Maya smirked. No promises. Maya arrived at the Caldwell shipping warehouse just after midnight. It was a massive, unmarked building on the docks, with security guards patrolling outside. She climbed onto a cargo container, pulling out a small camera. She needed proof, and this was her best shot. Then, she saw it. A group of men unloading crates. Jonathan Caldwell stood nearby, watching. Maya zoomed in her camera. One of the crates had a label she recognized, a front company linked to arms smuggling. She clicked the shutter. Then, a voice. What the hell do you think you're doing? Maya turned, just in time to see a security guard rushing toward her. Damn it! She dodged left, just as the guard swung at her. He missed. She grabbed his wrist, twisted, crack. The guard groaned in pain, collapsing to the ground. But the noise had drawn attention. Jonathan turned. His eyes locked on her from afar. What? Is that Maya or her look-alike? Shit. Get her! Jonathan barked. Maya took off running. Bullets whizzed past her, hitting metal containers. She dove behind a stack of crates, heart racing. She needed an exit. Then, she saw it. A forklift, engine running. She sprinted for it, jumped into the driver's seat, and hit the gas. The forklift barreled forward, smashing through crates. Security guards dove out of the way. Maya swerved hard, slamming into a stack of boxes, creating a blockade. She jumped off, sprinting toward the back exit. She burst through the door, disappearing into the night. Maya made it back to the mansion just before sunrise. She slipped inside quietly, only to find Chloe waiting in the kitchen, arms crossed. You look like hell, Chloe muttered. Maya collapsed into a chair. Feel like it, too. Chloe hesitated, then slid her a cup of coffee. Maya smirked. Wow. A truce. Chloe rolled her eyes. Shut up and drink it. Maya did. She had the proof. But Jonathan Caldwell knew someone was onto him. This game was about to get very dangerous. The Caldwell mansion felt different tonight. Maya Brooks could feel it in the air, the tension, the watchful eyes, the subtle shift in Jonathan Caldwell's demeanor. He knew someone had been digging into his secrets. And if he catches her, she was dead. Maya Brooks had been walking on a razor's edge since the warehouse break-in. She knew Jonathan Caldwell was smart, too smart. The moment he saw her at the docks, he wouldn't just let it slide. He would dig, hunt, and eliminate whoever was coming after him. And now, she could feel it. The mansion felt different. More guards. More surveillance. More eyes watching her every move. She was being tested. The question was, had he figured out it was her? Maya kept her routine perfectly normal, woke up at 6 a.m., dealt with Chloe's dramatic tantrums, kept her responses short and professional. But inside, she was planning an escape route, checking her blind spots, and keeping her cover airtight. Then, at exactly 9:32 p.m., Jonathan sent for her. It was time. Maya walked into the study, keeping her breath even. Jonathan sat behind his massive mahogany desk, swirling a glass of whiskey. His expression was unreadable. Victoria stood near the fireplace, her cold gaze fixed on Maya. 2 security guards flanked the room, hands resting on their holsters. Maya kept her face calm. Jonathan set his glass down. Maya, sit. She obeyed, lowering herself into the leather chair across from him. A tense pause. Then, where were you last night? Maya blinked. Here, at the mansion. Why? Jonathan's eyes narrowed. You weren't in your room. I went for a walk in the garden. She tilted her head, keeping her voice casual. Needed some air. Jonathan leaned forward, fingers tapping against his desk. You weren't at the docks? Maya met his gaze directly. The docks. She let a small frown crease her forehead. No. Should I have been? Which dock are you talking about? Silence. Jonathan studied her for a long moment. Then, he smiled. It was too polite. Too controlled. Of course not. His voice was smooth. I must have been mistaken. Maya forced a small laugh, pretending to relax. Must have been someone else. Jonathan nodded slowly. Then, as if changing the subject, he asked, Do you like working here, Maya? Maya didn't blink. Yes. Chloe's difficult, but she's not a lost cause. Jonathan chuckled. No, she isn't. He took another sip of whiskey. Then, almost too casually, he added, You know, the last nanny stole from us. Maya tilted her head. Did she? Jonathan nodded. We don't tolerate betrayal, Maya. Something about the way he said her name sent a cold shiver down her spine. He was baiting her. Watching for a reaction. She forced a calm breath. I understand, sir. Jonathan studied her for a moment longer, then waved a hand. You can go. Maya stood, not too fast, not too slow. As she turned, Jonathan said one last thing. By the way, he murmured, swirling his drink. The security system glitched last night. Strange, isn't it? Maya kept walking. She did not react. The moment she was out of the study, she let out a slow, controlled exhale. He knew. And now, it was only a matter of time before he made his move. Maya returned to her room, closing the door quietly. She didn't turn on the lights. Instead, she listened. Footsteps. Outside her door. Maya's heartbeat quickened. She stepped to the window, pushing back the curtain slightly. Below, near the driveway, 4 black SUVs had just arrived. Men in black suits stepped out armed, military precision. Oh, Hell no. Maya turned, grabbed her go-bag from under the bed, and yanked on a hoodie. Then, she heard the click. The door was unlocking. Maya moved instantly, throwing herself against the wall just as it swung open. A silenced gunshot hissed through the air, hitting the headboard where she had just been standing. No hesitation. Maya dropped low, sweeping the gunman's legs out from under him. As he fell, she grabbed the lamp from the nightstand and smashed it into his face. Crack! He went down. But there were more. Maya bolted for the hallway just as two more men stormed inside. She sprinted down the corridor, her bare feet barely making a sound on the hardwood. She needed an exit, fast. Then, Chloe stepped into the hallway. Her eyes went wide. What the hell? Maya grabbed her wrist. Shut up and move. Bullets whizzed past them as they ran. Chloe screamed. Oh my God! Who are these people? No time. Maya yanked her toward the service stairwell. They raced downward, bursting into the kitchen. The chefs and housekeepers scattered in panic as bullets shattered glass and metal. Maya shoved Chloe behind the counter. Then, grabbing a knife from the cutting board, she hurled it across the room, thunk, straight into a gunman's shoulder. He dropped his weapon, screaming in pain. Maya grabbed Chloe's arm. Run! They made it to the garage just as more armed men poured into the mansion. Maya yanked open the driver's side of a black Aston Martin, shoving Chloe inside. What are you doing? Chloe shrieked. Maya hotwired the car in 5 seconds flat. Hold on. The engine roared to life. The garage door was still closed. Maya slammed the gas. The car exploded forward, smashing through the garage door in a shower of wood and metal. Outside, the black SUVs screeched into motion, chasing them down the driveway. Oh my God! Chloe clutched the dashboard. What the hell is going on? Maya spun the wheel hard, the tires screaming as they drifted onto the main road. Bullets ripped through the back windshield. Do you even know how to drive? Chloe shrieked. Better than you. Maya snapped, shifting gears. They tore through the city, weaving between cars at insane speeds. The SUVs kept coming, closing in from both sides. Maya's eyes flicked to the side mirror, then she saw it. An intersection. A red light. She floored it. What are you? Chloe screamed. Maya spun the wheel hard, drifting sideways through the intersection just as a massive semi-truck roared past. The SUVs weren't so lucky. One tried to follow, and got obliterated by the truck. The second SUV swerved, but clipped a lamppost and flipped over, crashing in a fiery explosion. Maya kept driving, breathing hard. Chloe sat in stunned silence. Who the hell are you? Maya didn't answer. She had bigger problems. Jonathan Caldwell wasn't dead. And he wasn't going to stop hunting her. This wasn't over. It was just beginning. Maya Brooks had been running all night. The adrenaline was wearing off, but the danger wasn't. She and Chloe had ditched the wrecked Aston Martin 2 miles back, cutting through dark alleys and side streets, avoiding security cameras, dodging police sirens that screamed through the city. Jonathan Caldwell wasn't just after them anymore. He wanted them erased. And if Maya knew anything about men like him, he wouldn't rely on just his security team for this job. He would send a professional. A ghost. A hitman. Maya pushed open the door to a rundown motel on the edge of the city. It wasn't much, peeling wallpaper, a flickering neon sign outside, a front desk guy who couldn't care less about who came and went. Perfect. Chloe stumbled inside, exhausted. This place is disgusting. Maya locked the door behind them, triple-checking the deadbolt. Yeah, well, the Ritz-Carlton wasn't an option. She pulled the curtain shut, her mind already working. She needed a new identity, a new plan, and a way to take down Jonathan before he found them. But first, rest. Or at least, that was the idea. Because at exactly 3:17 a.m., Maya's instinct screamed move. A tiny noise. A barely there shift in the air. Then, the light bulb exploded. Maya dived, pulling Chloe down as the window shattered in a hail of suppressed gunfire. He found them. Maya grabbed the cheap motel lamp, ripped out the cord, and hurled it at the window. Glass rained down, but the gunfire stopped. Silence. Chloe was frozen in fear. What? Who? Maya yanked her to her feet. Move. They darted into the bathroom, just as the door exploded inward. Maya caught a glimpse, a shadowy figure, black tactical gear, silencer attached to a sleek pistol. A professional. Maya shoved Chloe toward the tub. Stay down. Don't move. Then she grabbed a rusty towel rack, snapped it from the wall, and waited. The hitman stepped inside. Maya could see his reflection in the cracked bathroom mirror. Calm. Precise. Unrushed. He lifted the gun. Maya struck first. She swung the metal bar, aiming for his wrist. The gun fired, but the shot went wide, blasting through the shower curtain. The hitman twisted, faster than anyone should be. He grabbed the bar mid-swing, yanked Maya forward, and slammed her into the sink. Crack! Pain exploded in her ribs, but she rolled with it, using the momentum to kick his knee sideways. He stumbled, but not enough. Maya lunged for his gun. They struggled, his strength was inhuman, his grip unbreakable. Then, he whispered, "I know who you are, Maya." Her stomach dropped. The hesitation cost her. He threw her off, sending her crashing through the bathroom door. Maya hit the floor hard, barely rolling before the hitman fired again. She ducked just in time, the bullet tearing into the motel carpet. "Run!" she yelled at Chloe. The teenager bolted. Maya followed, diving over the motel bed as the hitman stalked forward, unhurried, bulletproof. She grabbed the TV remote and hurled it at the light fixture. Sparks. Darkness. Now they were even. Maya sprinted for the hallway, shoving Chloe ahead of her. Stairs. Go. The hitman followed, his footsteps silent, his gun deadly accurate. Bullets whizzed past as they raced down the stairwell. Maya hit the fire escape door at full speed, bursting onto the alleyway. Then, headlights. A black sedan screeched to a stop. More of Caldwell's men. They were trapped. Maya yanked Chloe behind a dumpster. Stay low. No matter what. Then, she turned to face the hitman. He stepped into the alley, gun raised, calm as death itself. Maya put up her hands, not in surrender. In strategy. Caldwell didn't tell you the full story, did he? She asked, voice even. The hitman said nothing. Maya took a slow step forward. You're good. But you're not the only one trained for this. His grip tightened, just a fraction. Maya moved. Fast. She dropped, kicked his wrist, sending the gun flying. He countered with a knife swipe, barely missing her throat. Maya blocked, twisted his wrist, and snap. He grunted in pain, but didn't stop. He drove a knee into her ribs. She felt something crack, but ignored it. She headbutted him. That stunned him long enough. Maya grabbed his own knife and buried it into his shoulder. Deep. The hitman staggered. For the first time, he looked surprised. Maya leaned in, whispering, "Tell Caldwell I'm coming for him." Then, she kicked him into the dumpster. Maya grabbed Chloe. Run! They tore down the alley, slipping into the sewer grate just as gunfire erupted behind them. They emerged 3 blocks away, covered in filth, but alive. Chloe was shaking. What the hell? Who are you? Maya wiped blood from her lip. Someone who used to be worse than them. Chloe swallowed. And now? Maya's jaw tightened. She looked toward the city skyline, toward Caldwell's empire. Now, I'm the one who's gonna burn it all down. Maya Brooks had one goal, take down Jonathan Caldwell before he erased her from existence. But now, she was bleeding, hunted, and running out of time. The hitman had failed, but that only meant Caldwell would come at her with something worse. Maya and Chloe had barely escaped the alley, slipping into the city's underbelly, sewers, abandoned buildings, train stations, anywhere off the grid. But survival wasn't enough. Maya needed to go on the attack. She needed to end this. And that's exactly when the FBI found her. It happened fast. Maya had a burner phone, a stolen laptop, and a plan to expose Caldwell's empire. She hacked into his offshore accounts, ready to leak evidence of bribes, weapons deals, and murder-for-hire operations. She had him. Until Chloe made a fatal mistake. The teenager, panicked and desperate, used a hotel's Wi-Fi to call her mother. Maya barely had time to react before the door was kicked in. FBI. Get down. Explosions of gunfire. Smoke grenades. Maya grabbed Chloe, shoved her under the bed. Don't move. No matter what happens. Then, she ran. Bullets shredded the walls, barely missing her as she dove through the hotel window, crashing onto the fire escape below. Pain flared in her ribs, but she kept moving. A black helicopter roared overhead. Maya took one look down. The alley was swarming with black SUVs and SWAT teams. Freeze! Hands up! A sniper perched on the rooftop across from her. She had seconds to decide. Maya closed her eyes, exhaled. Then, she raised her hands. FBI. Custody was cold, clinical, and ruthless. Maya sat in the interrogation room, wrists shackled to the metal table. Her face was bruised, her ribs screaming in pain. Across from her sat Special Agent Ryan Carter, the best the FBI had. His sharp blue eyes didn't miss a thing. He set down a thick file. Maya Brooks, he said, voice smooth but deadly. Or should I say Agent Maya Lawson? She didn't react. Carter smirked. Oh yeah. We know who you are. Former CIA, Black Ops. Went rogue 5 years ago. He leaned forward. And now, here you are. Nanny by day, assassin by night. Maya said nothing. Carter tossed a photo onto the table, a grainy shot of her escaping the warehouse. Tell me, Maya, what the hell were you doing in Jonathan Caldwell's house? Still, she didn't speak. Carter sighed, then dropped another photo. This one was worse. It was a security feed image, Chloe, handcuffed, in an FBI holding cell. Maya's jaw tightened. Carter leaned in. She's 16. Scared. You really think she can survive prison? Because right now, she's looking at aiding and abetting a fugitive. Maya's fists clenched. Carter saw it. Help me, Maya. Give me Caldwell. Maya exhaled slowly. Then, she spoke. You think you're in control. But you're already dead. Carter blinked. Excuse me. Maya leaned forward. Smiled. Caldwell owns half this city. And you think he's just going to let me sit here? No. He's already cleaning up his mess. The door slammed open. A young agent rushed in, pale. Sir, we've got a problem. Carter frowned. What kind of problem? The agent hesitated, then said 2 words that changed everything. Caldwell's here. The entire FBI headquarters went into lockdown. Alarms blared. Red lights flashed. Maya was dragged from the room as agents armed up, locking down the exits. Carter barked orders. I want a sniper on every rooftop. Nobody gets in or out. But deep down, Maya knew. It was already too late. Caldwell had power, money, and an army of killers. And now, he was here to tie up loose ends. The first explosion rocked the building. Boom! Glass shattered, alarm screamed. Maya was still handcuffed when the lights flickered out. Then, the gunfire started. Caldwell's mercenaries stormed in, black tactical gear, silencers on their rifles. They moved like ghosts, wiping out entire squads of FBI agents in seconds. Maya ripped free from her captors as the chaos exploded around her. She dove behind a desk, yanking an agent's gun from his belt. She fired, 3 shots, 3 kills. Carter was shouting orders, but it was useless. Caldwell had turned the FBI's own headquarters into a war zone. Then, the doors burst open. And there he was. Jonathan Caldwell. Smirking. Untouched. Surrounded by his elite bodyguards. Caldwell stepped over the bodies of fallen agents, his cold gaze locking onto Maya. "Well, well," he said, voice smooth. "You've been busy." Maya wiped blood from her face. "Not as busy as I'm about to be." Caldwell chuckled. "You really think you can win this?" She glanced around. The FBI was outgunned, outmatched, and falling fast. Caldwell was winning. Unless... Maya's gaze landed on a grenade belt on a dead agent's body. Caldwell noticed. Smirked. "I wouldn't." Maya did anyway. She grabbed the grenade, pulled the pin, and threw it straight at him. Boom! The shockwave ripped through the room, sending bodies flying. Smoke filled the air. Maya grabbed Carter, dragging him to his feet. "You still want Caldwell?" she growled. Carter coughed. "Hell yes." Maya grabbed a gun, reloaded. "Then let's take him down." The dust cleared. Caldwell was still alive, bloodied, furious, but standing. His men were already regrouping. Maya knew this wasn't over. Not yet. She turned to Carter. "Get Chloe out of here. Caldwell's mine." Carter hesitated, then nodded. Maya cracked her knuckles. It was time for the final battle. The world was watching. The courtroom was packed, journalists, federal agents, even political figures. This wasn't just a trial. This was a reckoning. Jonathan Caldwell, the billionaire crime lord, sat at the defense table in a tailored navy suit, his expression calm, smug, as if this were just another business meeting. Across from him, Maya Brooks sat in the witness stand, battle-worn, bruised, but unbroken. The charges against Caldwell? Racketeering. Murder for hire. Corruption. Kidnapping. And enough federal crimes to bury him for life. Caldwell's legal team, the best money could buy, had spent weeks trying to dismantle the case. But Maya had one final move left. A move no one saw coming. Maya leaned into the microphone. The jury hung on her every word. "I was hired as a nanny," she said. "But what I found inside Caldwell's mansion was a criminal empire." She glanced at Caldwell. He didn't even flinch. Maya turned back to the jury. "I witnessed firsthand the bribery, the murders, the cover-ups. I saw innocent people die. I saw what happens to anyone who crosses him." Caldwell's lead attorney, Richard Vaughn, smirked. "Objection, Your Honor." The judge lifted a brow. "On what grounds?" Vaughn stood. "Dramatics. Miss Brooks is an unreliable witness. She was a fugitive, a former CIA agent gone rogue. She has every reason to fabricate this story to save herself." Maya clenched her fists. Carter, the FBI agent who once hunted her but now stood by her side, leaned forward. "Stay calm," he murmured. "Stick to the plan." Maya exhaled slowly. Then, she smiled. "Let's talk about fabrication, then," she said. She reached under the witness stand and pulled out a flash drive. The courtroom fell silent. Maya held it up. "This is a live feed." She plugged it into the courtroom screen. The monitors flickered on. And suddenly, everyone was looking at Jonathan Caldwell's private office. Live. Real time. On the screen, inside a sleek penthouse office, sat Caldwell's right-hand man, Damian Cole. Damian was sweating, frantically shredding documents, deleting files from a laptop. The judge frowned. "What is this?" Maya's voice was calm, lethal. "This is Caldwell's enforcer. Right now, he's trying to erase evidence that ties Caldwell to illegal offshore accounts, assassination contracts, and political bribes." The prosecution attorney stood. "Your Honor, this is evidence tampering." Vaughn shot to his feet. "This is illegal surveillance." Maya turned to him. "Illegal? Like hiring a hitman to kill me? Like slaughtering federal agents in cold blood?" The room erupted in whispers. "Caldwell?" He still didn't move. Maya wasn't done. She leaned forward. "Caldwell, you have two options. Either we watch Damian delete your entire empire on live TV, or..." She pulled out a second flash drive. Or we watched the video of you ordering Chloe's kidnapping. Your voice. Your face. Caught. On. Tape. Caldwell's expression finally cracked, just a flicker. Maya smirked. Gotcha. Then, the twist no one expected. Boom. A loud bang echoed outside. The judge flinched, but the federal agents rushed to the exits. The doors burst open. And in walked Damian Cole himself, alive, bloody, and furious. Flanked by a SWAT team. He wasn't shredding evidence. He was turning it over. Damian pointed at Caldwell. I want a deal, he said, voice shaking. I'll give you everything on him. Every murder. Every bribe. Every kill order. Maya's eyes widened. Caldwell? For the first time, he looked truly pissed. He stood up. Damian, you? Damian cut him off. You ordered a hit on me, John. Thought I wouldn't find out. The jury gasped. Vaughn scrambled. Your Honor, this is outrageous. The judge slammed the gavel. Order in the court. But the damage was done. The prosecution attorney turned to the jury. You've heard enough. Jonathan Caldwell is guilty of organized crime, conspiracy, and multiple counts of murder. Caldwell's jaw locked. Maya stared him down. Checkmate. The jury deliberated for only 20 minutes. Guilty. On all counts. The courtroom exploded, reporters rushing to break the news, agents swarming Caldwell before he could even stand up. Handcuffs clicked around his wrists. For the first time in his untouchable life, Caldwell looked at Maya. Pure hatred. He leaned in. This isn't over, he hissed. Maya smiled. Oh, it is. And you know why. Caldwell glared. Maya whispered, because no one is coming to save you this time. He was dragged away. Carter clapped Maya on the shoulder. You did it. She exhaled. We did it. Then, she turned to Chloe, finally free, finally safe. Let's go home. 6 months later. Maya sat in a quiet cafe, sipping coffee. The news played on TV. Caldwell sentenced to life in maximum security. Justice. Or so she thought. Her phone buzzed. A message. No number. Just 3 words. See you soon. Maya's heart stopped. She looked out the window. In the crowd, a man in black, watching her. Smiling. 6 months. It had been 6 months since Jonathan Caldwell was sentenced to life in prison. 6 months since Maya Brooks thought she was finally free. She should have known better. The message on her phone, see you soon, hadn't been a threat. It had been a promise. And now, the revenge was here. The news broke at 2 a.m. Maya sat in her apartment, half asleep, when her phone buzzed. Breaking news, billionaire criminal Jonathan Caldwell escapes maximum security prison. Maya's blood ran cold. She turned up the volume. The reporter's voice was shaky, urgent. Jonathan Caldwell, the convicted crime lord, has escaped federal custody in a high-risk transport ambush. Officials believe it was a coordinated attack by a private mercenary team. Several agents were killed. Caldwell is considered armed and extremely dangerous. Maya closed her eyes. Damn it! Carter's number popped up on her screen. She answered. Tell me you saw the news, he said. I saw it. Carter's voice was tight. We're in trouble. Maya exhaled. No. I'm in trouble. Because she knew what this meant. Caldwell wasn't running. He was coming for her. It started fast. By dawn, Maya was on the move, knowing Caldwell's people would come for her first. She packed 2 pistols, a combat knife, and a burner phone. Then, she felt it. A presence. She wasn't alone. She checked the street from her apartment window. A black SUV, parked a block down. Engine running. No plates. Classic hit squad move. Maya smirked. You wanna play? Let's play. She grabbed her gun, threw on a hoodie, and slipped out the fire escape. The SUV didn't notice. Maya moved silently, circling around the building, cutting through an alley. Then, she struck first. She stepped into the street, aimed, and fired. 2 bullets through the windshield. The driver slumped forward, dead. The SUV's doors flew open. 3 men rushed out, guns up. Maya dropped the first one with a headshot. The second lunged, blade flashing. She sidestepped, twisted his arm, and drove her knife into his ribs. The third man hesitated. Maya smiled. You should run. He did. But it didn't matter. Because she already had his phone. She scrolled through the messages. A single text thread, sent from an unknown number. Keep eyes on her. Do not engage. Caldwell wants her alive. Until the time is right. Maya's stomach tightened. Caldwell wasn't just hunting her. He was waiting for something. Something bigger. Maya met Carter in an underground safe house. The moment he saw her, he frowned. You're bleeding. Maya wiped the cut on her arm. I'll live. She tossed him the stolen phone. Carter scanned the messages, his expression darkening. This isn't a man on the run, he said. He's got an entire network still working for him. Maya nodded. And he's got a plan. Carter looked up. Then we have to find him first. Maya was about to answer. When the door exploded. Boom! Maya was thrown off her feet, ears ringing. Gunfire tore through the safe house, bullets shredding the walls. Maya grabbed her gun, rolled behind cover. Carter fired back, taking out 2 attackers. But then, Maya froze. Because stepping through the smoke was Damian Cole. Alive. Armed. And smiling. Long time no see, he said. Maya's eyes narrowed. You backstabbing son of a... Damian cut her off. You really thought Caldwell would let me walk away? He found me, Maya. And now, he raised his gun. He sent me to kill you. Maya didn't hesitate. She lunged, knocking Damian's gun aside, delivering a brutal elbow to his face. Damian staggered, but he wasn't alone. His men rushed in, surrounding Maya and Carter. They were outgunned. Outnumbered. Cornered. Damian wiped blood from his lip, grinning. Caldwell wants you alive. But if you fight me, I won't be so nice. Maya took a slow breath. Then, she dropped her gun. Surrendered. Damian smirked. Smart girl. He nodded to his men. Bag 'em. We're taking them to him. Maya and Carter were dragged into a dark warehouse, hands zip-tied. And there, waiting, was Jonathan Caldwell. Calm. Cold. And completely in control. He stepped forward, slow and deliberate. Maya, he said smoothly. We have unfinished business. Maya glared. Enjoying your freedom? Caldwell chuckled. Oh, very much. But you, he tilted his head. You've been a problem. And I don't like problems. Maya smirked. Then you're gonna hate what happens next. Caldwell raised a brow. Oh, and what's that? Maya leaned in and whispered, "Check your phone." Caldwell froze. Slowly, he pulled out his personal phone. One notification. From an unknown sender. Caldwell's eyes widened. He looked at Maya. "What did you do?" She smiled. "I hacked your offshore accounts. Every bribe. Every murder-for-hire payment. Sent straight to the FBI." Caldwell's face twisted with rage. Then, boom! An explosion rocked the warehouse. Smoke filled the air. Carter broke free, taking down 2 guards. Maya spun, grabbed Damien's gun, and fired. The fight erupted, bullets flying, bodies falling. And in the chaos, Maya locked eyes with Caldwell. No more games. No more escapes. This was the end. Caldwell grabbed a gun. "Let's finish this." Maya smirked. "Gladly." The warehouse was a war zone. Gunfire tore through the air, bullets punching into metal beams, shattering crates. Smoke thickened the room, flashing muzzle bursts lighting up the chaos. Maya moved fast, weaving between cover, firing precise shots. 1, 2, 3 enemies down. Carter was at her side, reloading, his voice sharp. "We need to get to Caldwell before he escapes." Maya nodded. "Then let's end this." Caldwell wasn't stupid. He saw his men falling, saw Maya carving a path through his operation. He knew when it was time to cut and run. He pushed past his remaining guards, heading for a hidden underground exit. "Fall back!" he shouted. "Now!" Damien Cole, his right-hand man turned loyal dog, followed. But before they could reach the escape tunnel, boom! A massive explosion erupted behind them, shaking the ground. Maya had set charges. The entire building was about to come down. Caldwell gritted his teeth. "Damien, stall them," he ordered. Damien hesitated. "Boss, if I stay." Caldwell didn't care. He shoved him forward. "That's an order." Then he vanished into the tunnels. Maya and Carter burst into the hallway, weapons raised, and found Damien blocking their path. He looked at Maya, gun clenched in his fist. "It doesn't have to be this way, Maya," he said, voice tense. "Walk away. Let Caldwell go." Maya laughed. "After everything? You really think I'm letting him run?" Damien sighed. "Then I guess we do this the hard way." And he attacked. He was fast, too fast. Maya barely dodged as he lunged, slashing with a combat knife. She twisted, grappling his arm, trying to throw him off balance. But Damien was trained. He pivoted, slammed her into the wall. The impact knocked the wind out of her. Carter tried to intervene, but Damien spun, delivering a brutal kick to his ribs, sending him sprawling. Maya saw her opening. She whipped out her knife, feinted left, then drove the blade straight into Damien's shoulder. He staggered, eyes wide in pain. "You!" Maya didn't let him finish. She grabbed his own gun, pressed it to his chest, and pulled the trigger. A single shot. Damien fell. Breathing shaky, he looked up at her, realization dawning. "You were always better," he whispered. Maya watched as his eyes went still. Then, without wasting another second, she turned to Carter. "Let's finish this." The underground tunnel was dark, damp, and deadly quiet. Caldwell was ahead, moving fast, heading for a waiting helicopter on the rooftop. Maya chased him down. Her footsteps echoed, gun raised, eyes locked on her target. Caldwell reached the end of the tunnel, stepping onto a steel staircase leading up. Maya aimed. Bang! Her bullet hit his leg. Caldwell stumbled, cursed, but he kept going. Maya sprinted up after him. By the time she reached the rooftop, Caldwell was already limping toward the helicopter, blood staining his suit. The blades were spinning, the pilot waiting. Maya stepped forward. Gun trained on Caldwell's back. "It's over." Caldwell froze. Then, slowly, he turned around. And for the first time, she saw it. The fear. The realization that he had nowhere left to go. "You don't have to do this," he said, voice smooth, controlled, even now. Maya tilted her head. "That's funny. Because I remember you saying the same thing, right before you tried to kill me." Caldwell's jaw tightened. "Look, you kill me, and someone worse takes my place," he said. "You know that." Maya smirked. "Maybe. But they won't be you." Caldwell's eyes darkened. And then he went for his gun. Maya fired first. 3 shots. Straight to the chest. Caldwell staggered, dropped his gun, and fell to his knees. He looked up at her, breath ragged. Then he laughed. A weak, bitter laugh. "You think this means you've won," he whispered. Maya holstered her gun, stepped closer, and kicked him off the rooftop. Caldwell's body plummeted, hitting the ground with a sickening thud. She stared down at him. No more running. No more threats. No more Caldwell. It was finally over. 1 week later. Maya stood on a quiet beachfront, watching the waves roll in. Carter approached, hands in his pockets. "Well," he said, "I gotta admit, I thought you were gonna let him go for a second." Maya chuckled. "You don't know me at all." Carter smirked. "Fair point." He handed her a file. She flipped it open. Inside, a new identity. A new passport. A new life. Maya exhaled. "So, this is it?" Carter shrugged. "Could be. Unless you're looking for another fight." Maya closed the file. Then smirked. "Maybe someday." She turned, walking toward the ocean. For the first time in years, she was free.